So first of all, a very good evening, Girish sir, and thank you so much for joining in for the GIBS IRE talks. And
Pleasure, pleasure, Sandeep ji. Happy to be here.
thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GIBS IRE talks. Distinguished guests and the faculty members, a warm welcome to everyone who have joined us for this GIBS IRE talks. I'm Sandeep Bansali, and it's my honor to host this event as an IRE talk. Before we proceed something about the IRE talks, let me share a few insights about GIBS. GIBS Business School is managed by Goyal Educational Trust, which is a prestigious institution located in Bangalore. GIBS offers AICTE approved PGDM program and BBA from Bangalore University, providing students with a comprehensive education. The GIBS Business School boasts an exceptional faculty known for their mentorship and focus on the practical learning. GIBS is committed to preparing the students for the industry through the programs like PGDM as well as BBA, which is an AICTE BBA from Bangalore University. So we have a lot of industry aligned programs such as GIBS Finishing School, the IRE School, which enhances the skills and knowledge. Additionally, it has a remarkable track record for placing its students in top-notch companies, ensuring bright career prospects. At GIBS, we strive to cultivate an environment that fosters innovation, research, and entrepreneurship. Our mission is to empower the individuals like you to reach their full potential, both professionally as well as personally. We aim to develop a strong leadership skills and facilitate valuable networking opportunities and promote active engagements with our communities. We are truly excited today to have Mr. Girish Nagpal as our keynote speaker. His expertise and experience will undoubtedly provide us the valuable insights in the journey of transformation from being a dreamer to a doer. And that's today's topic. So before we proceed, sir, I would seek your permission to introduce yourself to this distinguished audience.
Sure, Sandeep ji, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. So I'm sure Mr. Girish, sir, does not need an introduction. He is a well-known celebrity in the industry of Bangalore, or rather we would say startup industry of Bangalore. Mr. Girish Nagpal is the CEO and founder of Bangalore-based startup, the MetroRide, and he's also a renowned serial entrepreneur known for his exceptional business acumen. He made his mark as a finalist on SharkTank India, which was showcased on SonyTV, where his innovative ideas garnered the attention and administration beyond his entrepreneurial ventures. Mr. Girish is a multifaceted individual with a passion for sports and non-fiction books. He actively participates in various sports activities, embracing the values of teamwork, discipline, and determination. His love for non-fiction literatures allow him to dwell well into the wealth of knowledge and gain insights from the experience of others. Mr. Girish's leadership skills shine through his involvement with the Toastmasters International, where he has held esteemed positions such as Division Director and District Chief Judge. His dedication for personal and professional development led him to receive a prestigious Distinguished Toastmaster Award. A committed mentor, Mr. Girish offers guidance and support to the individuals, clubs, and startups, leveraging his expertise to navigate the challenges and to achieve the success. As an angel investor, he plays a significant role in driving innovation, supporting and promising ventures. At the helm of MetroRide, he has transformed the daily commute experience. He is very passionate about education and sustainable sectors. He has conferred the Visionary Award for his contribution green mobility sector, and also recently chosen as one of the India's top EV charge leaders by E-Mobility Plus. Congratulations, Girish sir, for that. And MetroRide, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard about MetroRide. When we see a lot of challenges, MetroRide is the one which always there right below the metro stations. Specifically, I've seen in Bangalore where a lot of EVs are standing just to assist to help you out through easy commute for yourself. MetroRide provides the fastest and most economical solution for reaching out to metro station, corporate parks, university colleges in Bangalore. Revolutionizing the traditional transport method, Mr. Girish Nagpal's entrepreneurial prowess, leadership, and commitment to empowering others have solidified his position as an influential figure in the electric mobility industry. Through MetroRide and his various endeavors, he continues to shape the future of transportation while fostering growth and innovation. Sir, I must say, I apologize. I'm so sorry, my video is not visible. I apologize that I'm cutting down on your profile, sir. Your profile is quite long, but I'm extremely sorry to cut it down. But a quick reminder to all the attendees, you can just put across all your, in case if you have any questions, any doubts, anything which you would love to know from Girish sir, you can put it in the Q&A section. I'm sure we'll take it at the end of the session of this. So without wasting much time, sir, I would pass it on to you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sandeep ji. You're saying cutting down. I was just feeling if you add a few more lines here and there, it will actually complete my biography. Thank you for covering it in so detail. Pleasure to be here, students, members of the faculty and the management. It's an absolute honor to be talking to you guys and sharing my experience, my 2 cents in whatever I have learned in my journey as a student, as a teacher, and of course, I am a lifelong student, as I always say, as an entrepreneur, as a mentee, as a mentor. So various roles all of us play, and we keep on changing hats, right, based on in which circumstances, with whom you are. And absolutely a great pleasure today to be here and addressing our future leaders. And it's an absolute honor to be at a platform where an organization like GIBS is helping students to get exposure through the industry. I think it's a great endeavor. But let's get back to business. I think English is good, or should I mix English and Hindi, a bit of Kannada? That's what I know. Of course, I can speak other languages as well, but I'll stick to English. Maybe some punchlines, if I have to, I'll try to bring in Hindi, right? So you gave a very rosy picture about my profile, but it is very, very different. Maybe it is today how it is or how it looks like today, right? But I hail from a very small city in Haryana, right? And like 165 kilometers from Delhi. So let me start with that, and so that you have a context of where I come from. And I'm sure each of the students who come from different backgrounds, different families, different kind of places, they can also relate to that. It's not about where you come from, it's about where you are going and where you are today, right? So as I said, I come from a place called Hisar in Haryana, which is not a very small city, I would say, but of course, compared to a Bangalore or a Delhi, pretty small, where in terms of exposure, we didn't have so much. And I come from a very, very humble background, lower middle class family. And I was the first engineer in my family, in my extended family. So nobody from my mother's side or father's side had even completed engineering, right? The first, of course, and that was not my first choice. My first choice coming from Haryana and Punjab is typically becoming an army officer, right? And I am the youngest in the family. So my brother actually got chosen for the Indian Army. So that was my first address with failure, that even before I could try, my door to the career of army was shut. And that's how it all started. Okay, let me look at engineering, right? And of course, engineering happened. And like most of us, I did engineering just to figure out what I want to do in life. And my life in general has been whenever there is a calamity, there is a challenge, you would find me there. So I completed my engineering way back in 2001. Of course, all these students must be younger, but the faculty can relate. This was a time when the whole global economy was shattering. It was the Y2K. There were no jobs, and that's when I came out of college. And there was absolutely no jobs for us, and I had to move to Mumbai. And this was a big change because I was just 20 years then and had not even gone to Delhi. It was a big change, and my family was worried, how would I be able to manage? But one thing I've always believed in is what doesn't kill you makes you strong. And that's how I took the leap of faith and landed in Mumbai for my first job ever. And when I look back, like Steve Jobs says, right, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. Everything which has been contributing. And so this was 2001, worked in printing and packaging industry, got exposure. Of course, that was like the first 2 years were toughest time of my life, I would say, because I couldn't speak in English. coming from Haryana, you would know people, you might know English, but you can't converse, you don't have the fluency, you don't have the pronunciation, right? And in Maharashtra, especially in Mumbai, the moment I would try speaking English, people will not understand. They thought I was talking in Punjabi, right? So that's how it started. And of course, hardly anybody spoke in Hindi those days, right? So it was a tough challenge learning a little bit of Marathi and then mixing it with whatever English I knew. So it was a big struggle from becoming or starting as a very, very underperforming employee to becoming one of the best in the company. So that journey taught me a lot of things. And when I look back, of course, most of my good things, my first house, my first girlfriend, who ultimately became my wife, actually, Mumbai gifted me all of that, right? So like I said, what doesn't kill you makes you strong. And 2008 was the time when 2007 to be precise, when I realized, okay, I was doing well, but there was still a lot to be accomplished and I was not skilled enough. So I looked at the upskilling myself. I started preparing for CAT and took a break and went in for my full-time MBA at MDI Gurgaon. And again, I was passing out. This was year 2008. Again, these students might not relate, but Professor Sandeep, you will know 2008 was the time when Lehman Brothers happened. And again, it was a big economic turmoil global, right? So there were no jobs and I had to really hunt for a good job outside campus. In fact, MDI was one of the best companies for placements, but that year, the only placements we had were distribution. I got placed with CA Tires, if I remember correctly. And of course, that was not something I was looking forward to. So I went out and found a job for myself outside the campus. And that's how my journey in the edtech or the education world started. I joined a startup in 2008. It was called EduComp, which actually revolutionized the whole edtech sector, so to say. Again, it was a big challenge. I was again thrown back in the interiors of Maharashtra to set up the operations of the company. I was their first employee to build the whole story for EduComp in Maharashtra. And again, it was a big challenge, but gave me so many learnings as an entrepreneur, because though I was an employee, I got so much exposure of how typically you launch a new product, how you really build things and you fine tune things, right? And fast forward 2020, I started my first venture into mobility, and it's been a great journey fighting COVID and still sustaining business. Again, I come back that what doesn't kill you makes you strong. So it really forced us to be frugal. It really forced us to build our business basics so strong that no matter what comes, you can still survive, right? So before, so this was all about me. Of course, what you see after 20 years, what I've become, but it's been a continuous challenge, and the challenge doesn't stop. Even today, I face failures every single day. And that's become the DNA of entrepreneurs, right? You try something and it more often than not, it doesn't work. So you have to be ready for it, right? So let me start by asking a simple question to these audience. They'll be able to see my chat if I put in, right?
Yes, sir. Chat, I doubt they'll be able to see. Pradeep sir, will they be able to see the chat?
No, sir.
No, sir, they'll not.
Okay, I wanted to do a Menti meter, but that's fine. So I was watching one of your previous sessions. I remember Rohit was there, Rohit Sharma, and he was asking question, how many of you want to be entrepreneurs? If I remember the numbers correctly, it was 90%, approximately 90% of the students wanted to be entrepreneurs, right? Yes. And ultimately what happens is, you know the story of India, right? We have less than 10% of people who actually become entrepreneurs. If you actually reduce the small mom and pop stores, you're talking of the number is much, much lesser, right? And what the main difference is, because everybody dreams of doing something, but who are the people who actually take that leap of faith and start doing something? Forget making it big or small. That's absolutely immaterial. If you make it big, if you make it small, but how many people actually start? So that becomes the first question. Why is it that everybody wants to dream? Everybody dreams. Everybody has aspirations, but not many of us actually make that first step itself. We don't even start. And that's the biggest reason that we do not have the courage to take that first leap of faith, to take that first step. And that why that happens is, I think it's more of a cultural thing in India. I'll touch upon that. But if you ask me, it's absolutely fine. Most of these guys would be what, 18, 19, 20-year olds who we are talking to today?
Sir, we have a mixed audience, I would say. A lot of them are from the education fraternity. They might be faculties.
Okay.
There's a complete mix set of audience we have today.
Superb. So students, I'm talking around 20, and maybe faculty around 35 to 40, or it'll be a mix, right? So what is that big reason that you had a dream, but you never even took that first step to try if it will work or not? Right? That's the big difference. That line which you see here in dots, from becoming a dreamer to a doer. And a lot of us, and I am included, because it took me good 15 years of corporate career to start my first company. And the reasons could be multiple. The reasons could be justifiable. The reasons could be logical. But unless and until you try, you don't even know if you are meant for it or not. So my first advice to you would be, if you have a dream, don't sleep with it. Like our past president very beautifully in a powerful quote said, dreams are not something you see when you're sleeping. Dreams are those things which do not let you sleep. So if you actually have a dream and you're sleeping over it, that's not a dream. If you have an aspiration or a dream which makes you get out of the bed every single day, or which doesn't even let you sleep, that's where I know that you have a burning desire to fulfill that dream or to get started with that dream. So if you were to ask me, what do I do next? I would say today is the day you can take that plunge, you can trust yourself and just jump. Trust me, you will never regret, because the worst what could happen is what you're doing today, you can always be back there, right? But unless you start, you will keep repenting your whole life that why did I not even give it a try? Because when you die, the things are not the things which you did, you will repent on, but the things which you could never try, which you never have the courage to do, those are the things you will always repent about. So today is the day. You can mark it 7th of June. You can write the time. I'm sure you would have something to note down to, or on your hand, whatever you have. Today is the day. You could write 7th June is the time I am taking that plunge, that I will start working towards my dream. No matter what happens, I will take that first step, whatever it is to be. If I want to launch a business, let me start working on the business plan. If I want to do whatever, it could be anything, not just entrepreneurship. If I want to do masters, let me take that first step towards taking that plunge or taking that preparation. If I want to again take a break and study again, you could do that also. But today is the day when you decide, you jump from the wall. Don't keep on standing on the fence, because that's not going to take you anywhere. And now come back to, why is it that there is so much gap between a dreamer and a doer, and how do we actually get it? How do we implement it with a proper process? Okay, so I have a very simple 4 method. I would say the first thing which is most important here is act, but let's go in the synchrony. So let's start with a plan. So whatever you think you have, which you want to build, it could be a problem, it could be a product, it could be anything which you personally face. I don't know what you're going through, but I am sure most of us have that burning desire to solve for something. And more often than not, it is something which you face in your personal life. If I talk about myself, all the companies which I have built, they were problems which I firsthand faced, or somebody very close to me faced. And that's how it all starts, because if you relate to the problem, it becomes much more easy to solve, much more easier to relate with the problem. And when you analyze, you would be able to see the results very, very quickly. So whatever you have in mind, start defining it, writing it on pen or paper, writing it on a computer or a notepad, but do something, bring it to life in a form where you can see. So define and analyze the problem, whatever you want to solve for, and then identify the root cause. Do your research around it. What do you think is the reason why nobody has solved it today? Or if there is anybody who's trying to solve it in a different way, what can you do differently? What do you understand about the problem? Or even if you don't know, go out and ask people, right? But there has to be a plan that, okay, this is what I want to do. And these are the various stakeholders of this problem. And today A lot of people are trying to solve it, but I think I can do it in this way. So you at least have something to start on to. And the biggest irony, the biggest issue I will say with us entrepreneurs, especially even after, especially the MBA grads, is we call something called as the analysis paralysis. So you have to move to the next step. Don't just keep on planning, because it is green, right? It looks green, it looks comfortable, that zone, but you have to move to the next step, which is doing. Lot of us will start building something and keep on working on it till it becomes perfect. Trust me, even Steve Jobs couldn't create a product which was perfect without putting it in the market. You have to build something. In startup terms, we call this as an MVP, the minimum viable product. So the first and foremost, your whole thing should be create something and put it in the market. So you devise a solution, create something. So whatever you have in mind, will it work, will it not work, but just plan it and start doing it. Unless you do, the planning will never work, right? So the planning is important, but don't just keep sitting in the planning zone, because planning is also one of the dreamer zone only, right? You keep thinking about it, but you never do anything about it. So you have to have a plan, but put that plan to execution. Just to give you an example, we all know about Dunzo, right? It's a super successful startup today, but till almost a couple of years after its launch, they were still working on WhatsApp, because they had an idea and they started trying it. Even before they built the main product, they started taking orders on WhatsApp, and they were executing thousands of orders only on WhatsApp. And once they had a clarity, okay, this is going to work, people are loving it, people are wanting it, now to scale, let's have a robust platform, let's have a front end app, let's have a very strong back end to serve all those orders. But had he only kept on thinking, will it work, will it not work, it will never work. So you build something and try it with different users. You could try it with 100 users, with your friends and family, with your inner circle and their inner circle, right? But try something. And then the third step is, of course, whatever is happening, you got to keep a check on it. Unless you are being aware of what you tried, what are the results, what is that feedback coming from the users, right? So what exactly is the user liking about it? What are the things which you felt would work, but it is not working? So you make a very clear note of it, and then of course act on it. So the customers love this, I'm going to keep it. The customers are not liking it, maybe I could do this. So got to quickly act on it, and then the whole process keeps running, because any product, any solution, there is no end to it. Because like human beings, every product, every solution is always work in progress. So you keep on moving this circle. So you act on it, again you plan what else I could do, then do it, check and act, and this circle will keep on moving in a process, making you better, making your solution better, and of course making the whole experience of the customers so much better. And that's how it keeps on moving. And it's not easy. It looks like it's so automatic and it's going to work, but when you do, what is going to happen? When you plan, when you do, when you check, when you act, between all these steps, there is something which is going to come and stop you, and that would be failure, right? You start planning, but you're not able to plan because there are so many other priorities. You have exams, you have parents, you have girlfriend, you have spouse, right? So many things will come which will ensure that you're not able to deliver what you had planned. And that's where, and this failure is not in one of these steps, it's everywhere, right? Everywhere. Ask Professor Sandeep. I'm sure even when he must be a pro at taking classes, but when a lot of things are happening around in life, you would see failure. And as an entrepreneur, I can tell you, every single time, every single day, we fail multiple times. And the best thing is now we've become prone to. And this is one of the important aspects of our life, which I want to spend a little more time, because as a society, especially in our country, if you look at failure, it has so much of stigma attached to it. Remember, he's a failure. So that's like a full stop. He's a failure. If you failed in class 5, they'll say you're a failure and full stop. Your life is over. Whereas failure, you tell me one successful person who's not failed in his life, right? I remember that we had a couple of guys who who flunked some class 7 or 8, and we used to look at them that all of us moved to the next class, and he's still there, he's gone. And today, trust me, I was seeing one of these guys on Facebook lately, and who had flunked class 7. He's one of the most successful people in our classes, in our class, right? So he drives a Rolls Royce, and we were just discussing on the WhatsApp group of the class that we never thought this could turn out this way, right? So this is what you have to be absolutely comfortable with, especially students. It's okay to fail. There is absolutely, I can guarantee, no successful person in this world who's not failed. You talk about, okay, let's look at the most successful entrepreneur today. If I ask, I'm sure I can't take the voting, but I'm sure most of us will say Elon Musk, right? And Elon Musk was fired from his own company, which later it was called the X.com, which later was called the PayPal, right? He was fired from that company. And today we know him for what he is. And trust, and that also is not the ultimate, right? Even after building so many successful brands, his brand SpaceX was on the verge of going bankrupt. It was almost the last mission they went on. Had that not been a success, the company would have got busted, right? And even Twitter, what is happening today, you never know what is going to happen tomorrow. Even if Twitter is not a success after him taking it over, do you think that's going to change him as a person? No, because he knows I can create something. If it breaks, I can create something again, or I can make the same thing better, right? And that's the mindset I want you to have. You will try multiple things. You guys are so young, even if you're not, right? Even the 40, 50, 60, whoever is here, we are all so young to try, because ultimately there is no destination called success, because even if you succeed, you still have to keep working on it. Like for startups, it ultimately people say is the IPO, but ask Vijay Shekhar of Paytm, was that the ultimate thing? After IPO, a lot of new challenges come in, a lot of new things come in. So it's a cycle, right? Don't never think that, okay, he becomes successful and that's the end of the life. So enjoy your failures, enjoy that learning which you get from the failure, and that's going to make you a very different person altogether. So the moment this mindset changes, what will happen if I fail? I was talking about what stops people from becoming a doer from a dreamer. I think failure or the fear to fail is the biggest reason. And this is the way our society has brought us up, because if we fail, we were put down. There was a huge stigma attached to it. But unless you fail, you can never learn. The only way you fail in life is when you stop trying. Failures will definitely come. But the moment you take it as an ultimate failure, okay, I failed, I will not try it again, that is the only full stop you can ever have in your life. Otherwise, failure is just a part of your life. Like they say, it's not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. It's a very, very important part of success, because you will never succeed unless you try multiple times. It might happen once, it might happen twice, but it's called fluke. It's not called really success. It's not the formula to success, because there is no player in this world who can perform all the time. There is no entrepreneur in this world who can have success all the time. And there is no scientist, I'm sure, in this world who's done his experiments all right at the first place, right? That's why it's called an experiment, that you keep on trying, you keep on experimenting. And that's how our life is also. It's an experiment. So never be thinking that if I do this, will I succeed, right? You have two options, you do it or not. If you don't do it, you definitely will never succeed. But if you try, either you fail or you succeed in that attempt, not in that project. In that attempt, maybe you fail, but you also get another chance. And that this time you have a better chance to success, because you know now at least one way how not to do it, right? So you keep on doing it multiple times. The moment you're okay with failure, trust me, your life changes. And that's what I have learned. I come from a background where failure was such word. I used to be very fearful across my corporate career. And I've had a decent corporate career. In my last career, in my last job in the corporate, I used to fly private jet. And that was the time I realized, okay, it can't go beyond this, right? So there was a time when I saw enough money, enough luxury in my life and realized if this is not making me happy, what is it that I am missing, right? And that was the trigger point. And I remember it is a very small story, might relate to some, might not relate to most people, but it related to me. That was the time when I was thinking, what is it that I'm still not happy getting all the luxuries of the life? I have a decent home, a decent car, a very happy family. Then what is it that still is missing? One of the best jobs I could imagine, like I said, all the luxuries, perks were there. And I heard this story of a samosa guy, right? He used to have a samosa stall outside a corporate park, and all these corporate managers, senior guys will come and have tea and samosa at his cart. And a lot of people will ask him, "Oh, what are you doing? How is it your business?" And one of the guys just asked him, "You're selling samosa for last 5 7 years. I see you. Don't you feel that you should also come and work like us? Have a tie, have a suit?" And this guy was like, "No, sir, I'm very happy here." And he was like, I, I'm really well, senior manager, one of the best in my company, the youngest managers. I was in the youngest senior manager, and I'm sure I'll become the director or CEO one day. But what is this guy going to do? Even if he succeed, maybe he'll have a bigger stall. And then he started chatting, and he realized that he was making around 50,000 rupees selling these samosas. And this guy felt that I am almost his same age and I make around 20 lakhs per annum. So how can I maybe impress him or convince him to take up a corporate job? And this guy, Samosa guy, had so much clarity. And he said, "Sir, okay, I understand you're making more money today, and maybe you will retire as the top of your company, making crores of rupees. But tell me, and I am also growing. 2 years back, I used to do 20,000. Today, I do 50,000. I'm sure by the time I'm ready to retire, I'll be making a few decent lakhs rupees per month. Because earlier I used to only sell samosa, and now I sell samosa, kachori, pakoras, whatever, right? So tell me, when you retire and your son joins the same company, will they make him the CEO of the company?" And this guy didn't know what was coming and hit him. He said, "No, he will have to, if he joins this company, I'm not sure if he will join this company, will he be selected in this company? But if he joins, he'll have to start as an intern." And he said, "Sir, one thing I can guarantee, I want my son to learn. He already comes and helps me. But I'm sure once I retire, my son will be the boss of this samosa stall. And whatever I am making today, or whatever I will be making on my retirement day, it might be, let's say, 10 lakh rupees a month. That will be the starting salary of my son." And that hit me hard, that when you're an entrepreneur, you are not just building something for yourself, you're building a legacy for others, not just for your family, for your stakeholders, for everybody around you. But when you're working for somebody, you're building that legacy for somebody. And it is a very simple story. I'm sure a lot of us would have heard it, but it landed so well with me. And that was the time I realized, okay, this is my last job. I'm not going to work after this. And that's how my entrepreneurial journey started. It could start, or whatever could click with you. I don't know, it might be a story like this, or you saw a successful entrepreneur who was building something which was changing the world. But ultimately, if you're creating jobs, definitely that is the way world will remember you. Even if you were the CEO of your company, that company will definitely remember you. And that's nothing, no harm in that. That's all in your DNA. It's up to you what gives you that satisfaction, because ultimately it is that satisfaction which decides what you want to do in life, what is your main calling, right? Whatever gives you happiness, whatever gives you freedom, you should just go all out and try. So I knew I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and then that's how the whole journey started. Of what should I build, what is that is something very close to my heart, what is my experience into. So all these things then come together, and my first venture was into education, because I spent a lot of time in education technology, and that is something very, very close to my heart. And that's what I built, right? So we were talking about failures. So make failure your best friend. You will never regret. You will never be fearful of what is going to come next. And the best part about you guys is, especially the students, right? What do you have to lose? For me, it took me 15 years, and trust me, the longer you wait, the monthly injection keeps becoming bigger and bigger, and you become addicted to it. It is very, very tough. After 15 years, you will have a lot of obligations, you will have a lot of debt, maybe a lot of EMIs to be paid. So it is always going to be tougher. You might think, I don't have the experience today. I don't have any experience. Should I start? You started, you had 15 years of experience, but that experience comes with a lot of baggage, with a lot of obligations, with a lot of EMIs, right? And your family is dependent on you. It's not going to be easy the longer you wait. So today is the best time for you to take that plunge. Okay, I want to be an entrepreneur, because you've not even started your career. Your opportunity cost is the least today in your career. I'm sure you will keep on growing in your career, and that opportunity cost will keep on increasing. So anybody who has the passion to solve problems, to create something, to generate employment, today is the time you should start thinking of what we can build. And the best thing is, you're in a B school and you have a lot of friends. These can be and are your best co-founding team, right? Because normally you would need a co-founder who is finding a co-founder is like finding a spouse, right? Because in startups, one thing is guaranteed: you succeed or not, you will definitely fail, you will definitely have tough times, you will definitely see a lot of rock bottoms. You will think, okay, this is the lowest we can be, and next day you will see even lower levels, right? And maybe same day you will see a lot of happiness and upper levels also. But one thing is definitely that it'll be a turbulent ride, and you need people who you can rely on. If these are the guys who you stay with, work with for 2-3 years, they know you in and out, all your strengths, all your weaknesses, and no matter what happens, they will be with you. So I think whatever I've seen, the friends are the best co-founding teams, and these are the people who can live with you no matter what you do, right? So you know each other, you know each other's strengths, and no matter how the circumstances is, they will stick around. And that's the best co-founder you can find. So I have been lucky that I found a co-founder who used to be my flatmate in Pune, right? So we've lived with us with each other for 2 years, so we know the goods and bads of each other. And that's where, when we are down, we know what to do. When happy, we know what to do, right? So you need somebody who can pull you up when you are down, or when he's down, you got to do the same. So that's why you look at somebody who you can trust, who you can rely on, or most importantly, who you will have fun with. Because if your co-founder is not fun to be with, at least amongst your group, when the time is tough, you will definitely crack as a team. So you need somebody who can stay with you through the thick and thin. So that's the best time, right? And like I said, the opportunity cost is the minimum today. Look for that calling, look for that problem which you think you can relate to, and look for something which you are attached to. Maybe passion will come with time. Passion is a very, very I would say overestimated word. Everybody, you can find passion with your journey also, right? But today you got to find something which you can relate to, which you think would be which will keep you involved. Don't pick up something because, okay, Girish said this is a good problem to solve, I will go and solve. Don't do that, because it has to be something which you relate to. If you are into gaming, find something related to gaming. If you're a sports guy, get something into sports. If you're a communication guy, get something into related to communication, or education, or mobility, or IoT, whatever, right? So it has to be something which you have interest in. Passion might come with time. Definitely, when you become completely mad about it, there will be, I'm sure, during your journey, you will build that passion, you will build that love for solving those problems. But at least pick up a problem which all of you, the whole group, your co-founding team, can relate to and can add value to it. Don't start something which you don't even know, okay, because it's the buzzword, let me go and try solving that. So if you pick up something which you can relate to, over time, you will become master of it. Because when you start working on it, something, when you spend your whole day on it, you will definitely learn a lot about it. And because it's closer to your heart, you'll be able to do a personal justice to it as well. And like I said, what will failures do? Failures will make you sweat. Failures will make you down. And the only thing, the tool which comes to your rescue is the perseverance. And perseverance is such a underrated word. It's very simple. It's nothing but perseverance is the hard work. I love this definition. The hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work which you already did, right? So it is it is so easy to think, okay, I'm done for the day, I'm done for this project, I'm done for this year. But after that, the spark, when it could be you, it could be a co-founder, it could be your next buddy who would say, एक बार और try करते हैं, boss छोड़ेंगे तो नहीं, right? When you are standing like there, we are not here to lose, right? Today only we posted, my company posted, we have this uh, stream called the Wednesday Wisdom, right? And we have Amit Jain, who's also our mentor for the company. He said this one line, fighter hamesha jeetta hai, right? If you're a fighter, you've decided that, boss, I'm not going to lose. That's the only thing you got to have a mindset of. Failure can put me down, but I will still stand and give it that one more shot. And that's what perseverance is. When you're down, stand and give your one more shot and one more shot and one more shot till the time you succeed. And that's about it. There is no formula to it. There is no shortcut to it. Hard work, perseverance. That's the work culture you have to believe in. That's the hardest thing to do, I would say, because consistency is very, very tough. Perseverance is very, very tough. If anybody is perseverance is there and he's decided, I am not going to lose, luck will also come and join you, because they will say, boss, ye nahi jaane wala, isko kuch de do. Right? So that's how it is. If you've decided that this is the cause, this is the problem, I am going to solve it. If not this way, I will try 100 different ways. But ultimately, it is the perseverance of that guy, of this fighter, who's going to ensure that you cross that line. And again, like I said, this is not about crossing line. There's no uh, end to this journey of happiness. There's no end to the journey of life. There's no end to the journey of entrepreneurship. You will keep building newer things. You see people build companies, they sell, they start from zero, they again build most. And this is not new, that a successful entrepreneur who's had a great success in the next venture, he fails. Have you seen that? So many times. And the best thing is, when you fail as an entrepreneur, again, a very, very contradictory thing to our society where we've grown all the time. In the startup world, if you fail and you go out for a job or for your next venture, people actually value you more, right? If you've tried and failed, you are much more valuable than somebody who never tried. Or if you worked in a corporate for, let's say, 5 years and you got grilled in a startup world for 2 years, you would be given more preference, right? So that's the culture which I love the startup world for, because if you failed enough, you know what not to do, and you're okay with failures. Because if you are somebody who's most of the times been successful, you would not know when failure hits you what to do, right? So it's like you're a person who's been through that, and you bring that kind of experience. Even if you're a fresher with, let's say, after 2 years of startup failures or startup work culture, you will be valued much more than any decent corporate guy after 5 years. So that's the best thing. So worst thing could be that your startups fail, the company which you joined as a startup, as a founding team, fails. But the good thing is your experience will be valued so much that you don't have to worry about it. And this was not there when we started our career, right? It used to be like, if this career doesn't work, the first job doesn't work, you will definitely find it tough to get another job, right? In startups, that is, I think, very, very good. The culture of okay being failure with failures, because all the VCs, all the investors also know that when they put hands in 10 companies, let's say they invest in 10 startups, a typical venture capitalist knows that only 1 or 2 will fire and 8 will shut down in next 2 to 3 years, and they are okay with it. That's the portfolio approach. That tells you that they are okay funding people who they think they might not succeed, right? So that's a bet somebody is taking with their money. And today is the best time, because of course you need all of this, but there is access to mentoring, there is access to capital, which you can just go out and ask for it. And that brings me to the next point, which is, when you're doing all this, you face failures and you're doing with perseverance, what next? How do you make yourself better? So one important thing is that you go out and be absolutely open to ask for help. there is no stigma attached to it when you go to somebody who is like maybe more mature, not in terms of age, but in terms of experience with working in a different industry, in a specific industry or a function. You go them and ask for help. And the best thing is, whatever my experience has been, people love to help each other. And that's again, the startup ecosystem, this is very prevalent. And of course, I volunteer for a few organizations. One is Toastmasters. And that's one thing which I have learned, that the moment you start giving, you get so much, right? I mentor a lot of people, but when I started, I saw people who used to just come and help me without even asking. And I used to wonder, why are they doing it? What is it that they are getting helping me without even asking? And today, after 7 years of my association with this organization, I understand that whatever I got made me so much better that now I'm in a situation to work, to help somebody, to work with someone, to make him better. And that's exactly true even in our startup world. People are absolutely okay to help you, because this is not a zero-sum game. So just because my startup becomes bigger, nothing has to come down, right? It's not a zero-sum game like it is in corporate world. Like one guy gets promotion, the other guy cannot, right? Or if one succeeds, other has to fail, or somebody gains, somebody has to lose. That doesn't happen here. Everybody can win together. And that's the power of ecosystem. That's the power of mentoring. So you go out and ask, you want to become an entrepreneur, let's say in IoT, you search on LinkedIn and send it to 10 people. I'm so sure 4 will revert back and be okay with mentoring you, with helping you, right? And of course, if you are good enough, maybe a couple of them will also look at investing in you. So go out and explore. So be vulnerable, because unless you ask, the obvious answer is no. That's what Ankur Warikoo says, right? If you don't ask, the obvious answer is no. And even the Tata Sky's commercial says, right, पूछने में क्या जाता है? So you have to go out, be open that I want help. Can you help me? If this is the question you cannot ask, definitely nobody can help you, because you never asked. I was ready. You never asked me. That's how it will be. And right, today is a timing where there is access to mentoring, there is access to capital, there is access to network, which was not there when we started, right? Today, you have a beautiful tool. Let's say even if you talk about LinkedIn, right? You can connect directly to Bill Gates. You can connect directly to Kunal Shah. You can connect directly to Professor Sandeep, right? So you can go and ask for help. And it is so easy that one message, right, can do so many good things for you. Maybe that person is too busy. In worst case, he will say, I don't think I'll be able to help you because my schedule doesn't allow, or he won't revert. But that doesn't make your situation worse. Anyhow, you're sitting there knowing, like, clueless, right? If somebody helps, that's the only positive outcome you will expect out of it. So it is okay to ask for help, and please be open to ask for help. And when you get help, so remember that you have to pay it forward or pay it back, right? So when you come in a situation where you can help others, like if you are in the 3rd year, you will have juniors, how you can mentor them. So all of that, it's like good karma will bring more good karma for you. So keep doing that. And I'm sure there is no way that you would be stuck because you don't know. Today, even if nobody was there in person, you have amazing tools. Like, let's even talk about Chat GPT. It will give you so many insights without even you going out of your office or home, right? So there is so much access to information, but ultimately you have to get your hands dirty. All that will help you, but you have to be ready to fail. You have to be ready to first start, plan, execute, fail, be aware of what is working, what is not working. If you're stuck somewhere, go out and help, ask for help. Definitely, it's a very simple process if you execute it. But if you keep thinking about it, just keep dreaming about it like a shake chili, nothing is going to fall on your head like a success. So that's what I think I wanted to share with you. If there is anything specific, I would love to get your questions on. Yes, Professor Sandeep, if there are any questions, happy to take that.
First of all, thank you so much for the wonderful session we had it, because the response in the Q&A has been really tremendous, and we are really delighted to see a lot of questions coming up in the Q&A. But somewhere when I was able to relate so many things. The thing which you told about today is the day. And there's one nice book which says The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. So he says the power of now. It's stop dreaming about tomorrow. What you can do it now, think about that. So that's one of the biggest thing which I completely resonate with you and say, yes, this is a time where you have to start doing it right now. Don't be procrastinating things to the next forward things. And one thing you spoke about, that failure. People are scared of failure. So our MD, Mr. Ritesh, he always says one thing, that first step is itself to figure out what is the first step is.
Correct.
So what happens is there are a lot of things which works on similar lines, where our students or today's industry is thinking too much about failures, or they say, will I be able? It's self-doubt, I would say. Right. So moving ahead, sir, let's take up very quickly a few of the questions. We'll just pick up few of the questions because of the lack of the time, sir. And
Yep.
the first question has been asked by Michael Pandey. Mr. Nagpal, as someone who has successfully transitioned from being a dreamer to a doer, what advice would you be giving to aspiring entrepreneurs who are just starting the journey?
Wonderful. So great question, Michael. So you've decided you want to move on. Like we discussed, the first step is start today. What is it that you're going to work on? And what are the things which might stop you? So start planning for the first thing, which is the problem you're going after. If you don't have a problem today, that's fine. Start talking to your fellow members, start talking to your friend that I want to be an entrepreneur, and let's discuss or brainstorm. So it could happen in a chai shop, it could happen over beer with your friends, it could happen in a college or a hostel, right? Start brainstorming, because I'm sure there'll be multiple things all of you relate to, right? It could be as small as a co-living problem, or how do you digitize your notes or share your notes, or it could be how you commute, it could be multiple things, or how do you reach out to like, of course, the problem like which Tinder has solved, somebody would have thought about it, right? There was an issue reaching out to the opposite gender. How do you make it easy? How do you actually use the network or the internet power to use that, right? So start thinking on what is it that I can do. So put that to action, and the moment you find something which you think, okay, this has some meat, start working on an idea or a basic product, like I said, MVP, and try it with your friends and family. So that would be the first step. So start making that concept of, okay, what is it that I want to work on for next 6 months, 8 months, commit to it, and then give it a shot. If it works, wonderful. If it doesn't work, that's absolutely fine.
So you can always have what not to be done in that case.
Oh, absolutely, yes. And you will definitely have 9 such things before you get that the one idea.
The one idea, absolutely. So thank you so much for that. The next question is being asked by Radhesham. He says, "Sir, how difficult is it to go to Shark Tank, pitch the business idea? And I do have one startup idea, but don't know how to raise funds."
Got it. So going and pitching to Shark Tank, to the sharks at the Shark Tank was not tough, I would say, thanks to the drill we go through. Like we would have pitched our idea to hundreds of investors. So it's become part of us, right? It's like going and sharing our story. So there is no, of course, when it happens in front of a very, inside a very swanky studio, in front of tens of cameras, it is a little overwhelming. But that is how you have to be ready as an entrepreneur to face different challenges. And it is always wonderful, the kind of atmosphere they have, because all these sharks are also entrepreneurs. That's the best thing, right? And they're not people who've got or who were born with a silver spoon. Most of them have built their own empire. So they relate to your story. They make you very, very comfortable inside the studio. So it was not at all tough. And that is the case with most entrepreneurs, because it's not that I'm going and asking for their money. It's like it's a partnership. Even if I pitch to an angel investor or to a VC, if they see value in me, if I can multiply their money, only then they will join me, right? If they were to do that, definitely they have to be friendly and give me that opportunity to present to them an opportunity to multiply their money. Look at it that from that point. It's not that I'm taking his money, I'm actually multiplying his money, right? So it's a partnership. It's not a give and take only.
Absolutely. So the next question is being asked by Madhu. Sir, we are interested in hearing about the MetroRide's success story. Can you share some notable achievements or significant moments that highlight the growth and impact of the company?
Sure. So I would say we are still work in progress. We've got some success, a lot of failures in the journey. I would share a few if you want. So one is, of course, we've recently signed joint GTM with the Hyderabad Metro. So Hyderabad Metro is one of the biggest metros in the country after Delhi, right? So we've been able to sign a joint agreement with them, and we are solving the first and last mile connectivity for them. That was a big achievement, because for a startup to join hands with such a massive organization was one big achievement, and that's going to take our company to a much faster pace, I would say. Apart from that, we've won quite a few national, international awards in the last couple of years. We were the only company in the GAMIC, which is the Global Automotive and Mobility Innovation Challenge. We were the only company from India which made it to the global top 10 out of the 3,000 companies which came from 65 different countries. Right, so we've been awarded by awards from Alstom, Mercedes-Benz, IIM Bangalore, just to name a few. So that's been a few milestone which we can look up to, but I'm sure there are a lot of things in the pipeline, and it all comes with the set of failures, right? Which is, I would say, it's just not just the success. I'm proud of the failures also. We've tried multiple things which didn't work, which put us on the right path.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. First of all, congratulations, Girish sir, for the Hyderabad Metro thing, which is going on now, and we look forward that there should not be any city where there is no metro, right? So hoping for the quick success. And sir, one compliment I would say, which one of our participants is saying, hello sir, recently have taken a female auto driver, and I never thought that one day I would attend your session. So thank you, sir, and thank you, GIBS, for this. So we'll take up one last question for the evening that has been asked by Aniket Rathod. The lady driver concept at MetroRide is quite unique and intriguing. So could you elaborate how this idea came into, and what was the benefits it could bring to both drivers and the passenger? And have you ever faced any challenges in implementing this concept?
Sure. Thanks, Aniket, for asking that. See, when you're building something, like I said, when you find your calling, okay, I'm doing something, money is just one small motivator. So the ultimate thing is impact. And if you look at in India, there's a huge challenge, because no matter how sophisticated we are, the fact of the matter is only 10% urban women in India work, which is really alarming, which is worse than Bangladesh and Pakistan. Only 10%, and thanks to the mothers in them, that they take a break after the child is born, right? And this was, and this actually came from my first startup, which was in education. And when we got acquired, we were doing this transition, and a couple of ladies came to my cabin, and they came with some souvenirs, and they said, "Sir, thank you." I didn't actually had never seen them, because they were the support staff in one of our centers, and they said, "We've been working with you for a couple of years." And I'm so sorry, that's my son. Yeah, so we have been working for you for last couple of years, and this changed the way our household used to be. Now I am able to pay for my son's education. I don't have to be dependent on my husband, and that gave me such a huge realization. They were helping us, and we were so proud to have them, of course. But we were able to make that small change, which was such a huge change for that household. And that is the time I realized that whenever I'm building my next startup, I would do something where we can impact such ladies, not hundreds, but maybe tens of thousands. And that was the first thing. When we launched MetroRide, we decided that we will have a lot of women drivers as a part of our fleet. In fact, the initial idea was it will be only women driving our fleet. Like you asked, Aniket, it actually became a huge challenge, because sourcing women drivers was a big task. So today we have a lot of women drivers, but we are an inclusive platform, so it's not exclusively ladies, but still we have a huge part of our driving fleet is by women. And I'm happy to share that no shame in that women are much better drivers, especially for this use case, because you don't need overspeeding here. So we've had absolutely minimal overspeeding, drunken driving, disciplinary issues when it's a lady behind the handle or the wheel. It's so much better. It is not just impactful, it makes a lot of business sense for us. and they are much more sincere.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. I'm sure, Aniket, you've got the idea and concept behind that. And Girish, sir, I had seen one of your interview where you came into how did this metro ride came to you when you have been rejected by several cabs, and that how the interview which I had seen, that was really amazing. That is where they say you just identify your problems. You have plenty of business or entrepreneurial journey to start with. So I'm really happy to go through that, sir. So thank you so much, Girish sir, for joining us. On behalf of entire GIBS Business School family, I would sincerely extend my appreciation to you and gracing us with this occasion and delivering the amazing, knowledgeable session on insightful talk on dreamer to doer. And I must say that Mr. Nagpal sir's entrepreneurial journey and his innovative ideas thought process have left us lasting impression on all of us. Think outside the box. Few of the things which you turned dreams into reality is a truly inspiring one. Your emphasis on resilience and persistence, innovation has provided, I would say, a lot of valuable insights to this audience who have been with us. So I would also like to extend my gratitude to all the audience who have joined in for today's session. Thank you so much for joining in. But one thing I would like to request you all for, do follow Girish sir on social media. MetroRide. Next time, whenever you take a metro, make sure that you see where is the MetroRide. You would find it very, very faster, right? So we would seek that you see that. And in case if you need any assistance, sir is also available on social media. You can connect him on various platforms, probably LinkedIn or whatever the social media you are comfortable with. So you can go through. And one small announcement to all the participants. This webinar will also be put on the YouTube of GIB's channel. In case if you have missed out on any points, you want to recap any of the thoughts which sir told, probably you can just check back on the YouTube channel of GIBS. So I'm sure you would have this video putting it live, right? And the e-certificates of this session would be shared on 9th, that is next 2 working days, so that you can also follow social media network of GIBS so that you can get many more such celebrities on GIBS IRE Talks. Girish sir, we would love to welcome you in the campus. So any day you are in Bangalore, anytime you are here, we would request you to please, I understand the schedule is quite tight, but it would be great if you could come to campus and share your thoughts with our students as well. It would be a real privilege for all of us.
Absolutely, Sandeep ji. It'll be an honor. I love interacting with students. In fact, I love talking to them in person. But of course, this is the second best option, I would say, talking to them virtually. But I would love to speak to them 1:1, and happy to connect with anyone. I am on LinkedIn, Girish Nagpal. You can look up. Happy to help any way I can. And I must congratulate the management of GIBS and all the students. You are really lucky that your management is thinking out of the box to give you this exposure from the industry. I think this is a wonderful initiative which puts you directly in front of people who are from the sector, not just from academia, because of course you learn a lot of theory, but ultimately how it works in the corporate world, they are bringing right at your doorstep or inside your desktop. That's a wonderful initiative, Mr. Sandeep. I think I must congratulate you, and the way you conducted has been really, really professional. And I look forward to being in touch and absolutely happy to help any way I can.
Thank you so much, sir. And one last announcement that our next IRE will take place on 16th of June, at the same time, 4:30 p.m. and featuring Mr. Gaurav Mukund and Mr. Gaurav Sharma, who's the founder of CredMate FinTech, and again, SharkTank finalist. So looking forward to see you again, everyone, once again for joining in. And from wholehearted, sincere gratitude, Girish sir, thank you so much for joining in. And all the audience, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Good day.
Have a great day ahead, sir. Thank you so much, sir.